Yeah, baby. Good morning, my fellow simpletons and degenerates. How we be on this September 4th of 2025. Just another day, another dollar. I don't know, man. I sense that there's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just about um taking the dive and actually knowing metrics, um, knowing what you hold, having a positive outlook on um, stocks that you have been looking at for a while and know that the metrics are good. The fundamentals, although they may seem not 100% solid at this point, C3.AI is going to make people a lot of money. Now, hear me out. I know we had earnings, and everybody knows that C3.AI is my baby or one of them. And a lot of things have happened in the last week or two that have made it kind of a stock that a lot of people have a bearish outlook on. Now, how is this happening and why is this happening? It's plain simple. You have um, bad metrics ish uh, at a time when NVDA is at all-time highs. Um, you have a CEO that has a disease and is stepping down. Looking for a new CEO seems a bit of of um, of an adventure, of an odyssey, so to speak, because you don't want to put just anyone at that position. Sometimes you have to go outside of your company to hire someone that is going to do well and has your same vision. Today, we're going to go over the results that C3.AI had and why I went and bought the dip. I went in yesterday and I bought a lot of shares, and this morning I bought some shares and I degenerated. I actually went against what I preach, which is I actually bought calls on the company, and they filled. My stinkers filled. I went in with something that I thought was not gonna fill, and it filled, and now it's starting to come back down. I could have sold those calls earlier on for a 20-25% profit, and I'm a dummy because I didn't. I should have known better. But um, this is kind of a long-term hold for me, So I'm just very curious to see how C3.AI does, and as you guys can see, it was in the 13s yesterday, and it's already at almost 16 bucks. 16 bucks. So insiders are buying. The street people that know AI are buying. You know, right now retail is the one that's scared. So I don't know. We'll go over these numbers, but for now, let's see who is here, and let's say what's up. Bobby Atkinson is in the house. What's up, Bobby? I hope you're doing well. You're probably at lunch right now. SJ Tavares is up in the house saying, "What up, Savage? What's up, my dude?" Mando number 5, not to be confused with Mambo number 5, is in the house saying hi to all people in here. Kent's mom is in the house saying hello. Hello, Mr. Savage. Hello, Kent's mom. SJ Tavares saying C3 got hit hard. We knew that we were going to get hit hard, though. The preliminary numbers were leaked a few weeks ago, and it tanked to the same spot that it is at now. It recovered then, is going to recover again. These numbers were not something magical that just happened. I think they leaked them on purpose just to see what type of a hit they were going to get today or yesterday, and it's recovering. So you may think that, it's one of those where you want to see what it does, and I think that it's an opportunity to go in and take a position. It's just me. I bought more shares. I bought calls actually, which is something that I don't preach, but they were just so cheap. So why not? Um, I honestly think that, people don't know much about C3.AI. They see the name, it's a good ticker, and they said, let me just go in here. That's not how you invest. If you're going to put your hard-earned money into a company, you want to at least know what it does. You want to know the fundamentals. You want to know who's leading it. You want to know their background. You want to know that your money is going to be taking that not big of a risk, right? That not big of a risk. And so, who are the players, right? C3.AI was taking contracts away from Palantir uh, a couple of years ago, when both companies were kind of even Steven, and Peter Thiel had not really been just dumping money to Donald Trump's reelection and J.D. Vance's uh, election as vice president. He was actually dumping money into J.D. Vance's, I believe, Senate um, campaigns, but then they got into the White House, and now Peter Thiel has all the contracts, right? Fair enough. Palantir is overvalued. I've said it. It's a company that I was buying when it was like $10, $7, and I was pounding the table when it was 20, saying this is a $100 stock, it's a $90 stock easily, and it ran up really fast. It's now overvalued, and I'm holding this stock. I should know, right? I hold C3.AI as well. I'm not one of those people that is like, oh, either I have NVDA or AMD. No, I buy both companies, right? I bought C3.AI and the direct competitor, which is Palantir, and it's all good. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't have to drink Coke and or Pepsi, and I can have both. So Palantir went up, C3.AI started to go to like the 40s, 50s, and then it got hit, right? Well, we are here. Who is Tom Siebel? Well, Tom Siebel is somebody that made a fortune, when they worked at Oracle, when he worked at Oracle, and then he actually was one of the heavy investors, and one of the key people in there that developed Siebel systems, right? And so they were kind of they now are the CRM for Oracle, right? I don't know if you guys know much about Oracle, but Oracle has been a player for a long time, and it was actually the system to use, the program to use, until Salesforce came along. Salesforce has now been eating their lunch. However, people that use Oracle and have used it for a long time, they've just kept it. They like it. And the newer generation is adopting Salesforce. Okay, fair enough. Siebel decided to just go on his own and start his own company, C3.AI. And so I followed Siebel and Mark Benioff too, right? And they're buddies. And so these these people, okay, they all know each other. They're up in the world of finance, and they're CEOs, and they manage their company as they see fit, right? Um, However, I think um, a lot more pressure has been on Siebel to work on these contracts that C3.AI has been signing with different companies, with the U.S. Air Force, governmental agencies, private entities. And so Tom Siebel came down with the disease. Well, first of all, he actually got into some huge accident. The guy went to like a safari, I believe, in Africa a few years back, like a decade ago or more. And he ended up getting run over by elephants. So, anyways, that happened, and it took him a while to come back, because first of all, he needed to get treated in Africa, but they didn't have what he needed because they didn't have the technology, and so they just kind of made him stable and flew him for 20 hours to Stanford Medical. The guy's a graduate from Stanford, actually. He's an MBA, I believe. No, actually, no, he's not. He graduated from Champaign, Illinois, I believe. His successor graduated from Stanford, and we'll talk about him. But anyhow, the guy ended up going through, a lot, and I think over like 20 surgeries to like walk again, and so that took a lot off of his plate. His health started deteriorating, and now he's kind of losing his sight, right? So, anyways, I guess that he's one of those people that is really hands-on, and he likes to work on contracts himself. He puts a lot of pressure on himself, and because he's missing meetings and then rescheduling and all that stuff, especially right now that the AI race is so hot, the guy, a lot of people were like, he's blowing me off, and so they just decided to just go elsewhere, right? Well, now we know that the guy's diseased. He has an issue. He has health issues with his body and his sight, and he just basically said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm too tired. I'm going to be handing off my company over to someone else. And so C3.AI has a new CEO. That always sends jitters, into a stock, into a company, because we don't know how this person's going to manage the company, right? Okay, now Tom Siebel also happens to be, and this is kind of where the future of AI is going. C3.AI, I mean. Tom Siebel's cousin is actually married to Gavin Newsom. Okay. Um, she is actually Gavin Newsom's wife. They have kids together. And so her name is, uh, ends with Newsom, Siebel Newsom, right? And so she's the first lady of California. Gavin Newsom is going to run for president. Now, one can argue whether he's going to be president or not. That's not we're not trying to get too far into this, but if Gavin Newsom ends up going into the White House, C3.AI will become the new Palantir, because all those contracts that they have, Palantir does with the government, are C3.AI can actually do what Palantir can do, and can do more. I've said it on this show before, right? But Palantir cannot do what C3.AI does. But anyways, so that's kind of like where the company, I think, it's going. I think that they're going to start signing a ridiculous amount of contracts, not just with California companies, but like all over the states. I think that connections, especially if they are to the White House, are key. And we see what can happen with Palantir when the connections are there in the White House, right? And I think that Tom Siebel is going to have a direct line to the White House if Gavin Newsom becomes president, and it's looking like he's going to be like the front runner for the Democratic Party. And one can make a case the way that politics are going and the country's being ran. There may be a change that's going to happen from Republican to Democrat in the White House, but that's a couple of years down the line. What do we do meanwhile, Savage? What do we do? Well, what I'm doing is I'm adding shares. This is not the first time we see a good company get hit. Good companies get hit all the time. Biggest example is SoFi Technologies. SoFi Technologies had no business being $4 or $5 a share. No business whatsoever. Yet it was $4 or $5 a share for a long time. It was 5 and then 6, 7, and it stayed there for like over a year. And people were just frustrated, and I understand this is investing, right? This is what companies do. Okay, sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down, and they have to restructure, right? What did SoFi do while it was in $4 or $5 land? Well, the CEO bought a crap load of stock. He was telling you, I'm buying because I know where my company is going, right? So he was just buying millions of shares. Look at where SoFi is now. SoFi is, $24, $23 right now, and it's recovered some, but it's still where it was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. We still haven't hit that bump yet, up to like 30s, right? it's going to take time. It takes time. Not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it takes time. And sometimes people have to be patient. And now I see how Uncle Bruce used to feel when he was telling people, just buy the damn stock at $4, $5, don't try to do poor man cover calls. Don't try to do spreads. Don't try to, cash secure puts. Yeah, you can, but like he would say, do tens, do $10 cash secure puts out to 2026 back then, right? And so these people are now, they've made a ridiculous amount of money. So this is what happens with C3.AI now. And so I think it's funny how people that were buying the stock and doing cash secure puts when it was $40 and $35 are now like complaining that it's so low. You were doing cash secure puts in 35 and 30 land. Why wouldn't you do them now? You were buying this stock at market price in the 30s and the 40s. Why wouldn't you buy now? And this is exactly why I tell people that I do cash secure puts in the long term, right? I take big chunks on red days, on days that the stock falls 10, 15, 20%, so that I can then buffer myself from days like yesterday, today, and 2 weeks ago. And I laugh because people, they want to do the weeklies and they want to do the bi-weeklies, and then they complain that a stock goes against them, and they're like, damn, I'm gonna get put those shares, and I'm just like, dude, like, why are you complaining? Didn't you like that company? If you liked it then, why wouldn't you like it now? Which leads me to my next point, which is don't fucking invest in a company that you know nothing about or do not intend to hold long term. Anybody that watches my channel knows I don't invest in any company I'm not willing to hold at least 5 years. And that's exactly what I tell y'all, right? If you're going to get into a company, don't get into a company because I believe in it or I buy it. Do your own due diligence. I tell people, hey, what are some companies you are looking at, right? And then I'm just in people tell me about tickers I've never heard about. And I'm like, that's cool. That shows me you're doing your own due diligence, you're doing your own homework, and you believe in a company. That's what you need, conviction. So C3.AI, does it belong in $14, $15 land? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It has no business being $16, but that's where it is. It had absolutely no business at 1383 or 85, whatever it landed yesterday. But guess what? It got gobbled up quickly. Right now, this morning, it was at $14. It's 16 now. Do you understand? So, like, it's not that the company is bad. It's that the metrics, the fundamentals are now at question. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed as far as the fundamentals. Everything's the same. Now, did they have a bad earnings? Of course, but this was expected. Everything is telling. Look at the job numbers today, right? I think that the official job numbers are not out till Friday, but right now we got some numbers in, and we're showing that layoffs are happening really to the same volume that they happened in 2008. What happened in 2008? Remember that. The world was going to crap, right? Oh my God, the stock market is going to crash. And it kind of did. We had the financial crises. That's where we are right now as far as layoffs. Some industries are actually bleeding to the negative. We had like minus 32,000, in some industry, minus 15,000 in other industries. These are industries that are actually, we should not be bleeding jobs to that point. You have all these kids that just graduated college going into a market that is insane. They won't be able to find jobs for years. And we told them, hey, you need to get your ass in debt over $100,000 so that you can get a good job. And now they're out in the job market and you can't find a job. That's terrible, right? But that's where we are. We have now surpassed, the 2020 layoffs. That's crazy because that was a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. So that's what's going on right now. And people are finding out about it. So it's just the market as a whole, it's down. C3.AI just happens to have had these earnings, the day before these numbers got released. So it got a little hit. On top of that, Siebel is sick, and he's telling us that he's looking for his successor. We got a new successor, and the guy seems legit. He actually founded a couple of AI companies and he sold them. Guess to whom? Salesforce. That's a direct line to Mark Benioff. Okay, the guy pretty much owns all of California. So that's Salesforce, man. Salesforce is a great program. And if they happen to integrate C3.AI with Salesforce, it's going to be insane. And the market is going to, their market at least, it's the metrics are going to be insane. They missed earnings per share. They missed on revenue. It's just all around. It's bad, right? The guy, Tom Siebel himself said, this is absolutely unacceptable. And I think that people just were kind of leaning on him too much to kind of work these contracts. And I honestly think he should fire his whole sales team. These guys, if they're not working, this is when you make these tough decisions. There's kids in college right now that just came out and graduated from Harvard Business School, Stanford Business School, Yale, Princeton. These kids are hungry. These kids want to make a name for themselves. Give them the jobs. It's a terrible market at this point, right? Hire them. These kids will work for like 1/3 of what these other people are working for and will do a better job. So anyways, what do we got going here? Ken's mom's in the house. Yeah, I agree, man. S3 got hit hard, brother. It got hit hard. But we're here, and we're here for a while. SJ, we're gonna be all right. Charlie C2 saying, "Hey, Savage." Oh, excuse me, guys. Hey, Savage. Hi, everyone. Charlie C2 is saying. Jay Gill is saying, "Good morning, Savage." Bobby Atkins is saying the new CEO seems like a sit-in. I'm thinking he's removed next year. I don't think so, man. I don't think so, Bobby. I think this guy is the real deal. I think this guy, he's actually worked in the government services agency, and he was kind of next in line. Guy was actually doing a good job. He's from Stanford Business School. He has good connections. He started his own AI companies and sold them before he went into the government. So the guy has good connections. I think the guy is going to work hard, man. He knows AI, and so it's not just anyone that they can hire, right? But this guy has good pedigree. I'll say that. While I don't really, there's not really much as far as him in a CEO background. He did fund a couple of AI companies, and they sold, to Salesforce. Salesforce is not just going to buy any boo-boo shit, So, but we'll see what happens. I'm buying shares, I'm buying calls. I'm very bullish on the company, and we got nowhere to go but up. This was a terrible, terrible quarter, of course, but it's not like we were not expecting it. Look, Walmart is telling us right now that spending overall is down. Target is telling us spending overall is down. You have unemployment at higher rates than they were during the pandemic. Let's see what this jobs number that's coming out on Friday tells us, right? But everything is telling, all the metrics are there. There's absolutely no wait until Jerome Powell tells us that there is not going to be any cuts, right? Any rate cuts in September based on all these metrics. Once he says there's no cuts, Trump is going to flip his lid, and Jerome Powell is going to get fired. It's going to be terrible. So wait for that shoe to drop, Will it happen? We don't know, but it can. We know it can. So at this point, this is why I tell people, buffer yourselves. Sell cash secure puts out months. Bring in dollars. This is why Uncle Bruce used to tell us, bring in dollars and be patient. The stock is not going to do what you want it to do. the stock is going to do what it does because of the market. It's at the mercy of the market sometimes. And there's nothing you or I can do about it. But what do? You take, an evil, a level head, and you analyze where your stock is at, what it's doing, and you let the stock tell you what to do. Is it down 10, 15, 20% on a day? Cash your puts. Is it up 10, 15% on a day? Cover calls. Look at the people that are holding SoFi that bought at 26, 26.50 on some FOMO shit. Holding the bag because SoFi, it's now 24.50. They're down $2 a share. If you would have sold covered calls when it was 26.50, for 2026 January, you could buy right now for a profit. You could have bought yesterday for a profit. This morning, that's how you play this game. So, and if you like a stock, this is something that I find fascinating is, and like Mr. Avocado right here will tell you that he's angry. He's angry at people that, are always complaining that that things are on sale. God damn it. Things are on sale. Go buy. Like Chanel is on sale, right? Freaking Louis Vuitton, Gucci. I mean, Louis Vuitton and Chanel, they don't really go on sale. But I'm saying, just for fucking argument's sake, let's say there's a big fucking discount on some day because they have to do whatever. They got to raise funds. And they're like 50% off today only, right? Fuck, I can assure you I'm going to see knuckleheads like out the freaking block, surrounding the block, waiting in line to get into these stores to give them their money. Give them their money. Why are you not doing the same thing when the stocks that you are looking at are on sale? Fuck. C3.AI was just 15% off. It's down like 50% since like a couple of weeks, like a month ago. Why are you not excited? Why are you complaining? Oh my God, I'm gonna put those $20 cash secure puts that I sold like a couple of months ago. I'm gonna have to get it at $18. Bull fucking who? Buy some shares, god damn it. Buy some fucking calls, right? Like that AI is the freaking future. C3.AI is not gonna go bankrupt. I can guarantee you. They have $700 billion cash. Right now, they have a lot of runway. Okay, Tom Siebel is directly connected to like the fucking, the governor here in California. Okay, that means a lot of government contracts in California. California is the 4th largest economy in the fucking world. They're not going anywhere. Do you understand me? Tom Siebel has too many connections. Too many great connections, okay? And then his CEO that he just picked, he literally picked him from the outside for a reason. This guy has a direct connection to fucking Mark Benioff, which is Salesforce, You don't have to take my word for it. Go look it up, Anyways, so C3.AI is at 16.12 right now. It's already recovered $2 from this morning, okay? I mean, the insiders, I assure you, are buying. They're like, what? Same shit that was happening with SoFi was at $4, $4.50, $5. Insiders were buying it, gobbling it up. I can't wait till those numbers come out a couple of weeks from now. We're able to see, the insiders that bought C3.AI. Nobody's selling. And the dummies that are selling are like us, people like us, people that don't know any better. They're like, oh my God, it was just $30 and I got to sell, You got to know what you hold. You have to have convictions, my friends. You got to have conviction. Charlie C2 saying good morning, everyone. Bobby Atkins says the news seems like it's not. It's all good, Bobby. You can think that. That's fine. I'm adding shares. Always be writing saying hi. Wing Commander Saga's in the house, and I know Wing Commander bought at $15 or $14, and the guy is making money. The guy's gonna make money because he knows. Wing Commander knows. He knows tech, man. I know tech. And I'm telling you, this company's here to stay. This company is going to make a lot of freaking money. And if Gavin Newsom is elected the next president of these United States of America, C3.AI is going to $100 a share. That's where we are, my friends. And you don't have to believe me, though. You don't have to believe me at all. Just like you didn't have to believe me when it was $10, $12, and I was telling people, buy it. It's going to fly. Buy it. It's going to fly. And it went to the $40, right? If you would have sold covered calls, another thing, I see people complaining, oh, my 30s, I sold $30 covered calls. I'm losing money. I'm finally back to where I was earlier on. Because you got greedy. The shit was at $40, $45. It went up too hot. You should have sold some 35s out to like 2026 back then, and you would have made a killing. I sold some friggin' 35s for 2027, I believe, and I brought in $17, and I bought back for like $150. That's what you do. You take money off the table. That's what money off the table means. Don't get greedy. Don't, if it's 45 and you sell 50s, it just went up 50% in a month, 2 months, right? It's going to have to cool off. People are going to take profit, especially if you've seen it just go up, 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 and it stays there for like a month and no profit has been taken. That's your cue, man. Like, people are going to take profit. Okay. So like if your stock goes from $30 to $50 within a month or two and nobody has taken profit, like you haven't seen a steep drop, right? That's your cue. Sell some 40s. Sell some 40s out to like, 6 months out and bring in insane amounts of money. That's how you make money, guys. Don't get greedy. Bears make money. Bulls make money. Bulls make money. Where's my bull? Where's my bull? Where's my bull? Bull rider. Bulls make money. Bears make money. Pigs get slaughtered. This is why we don't get greedy, man. And I tell people, you got people that got greedy that thought SoFi was going to 30, right? Like this week or next week, right? Holding the bag. Okay. Myself, I got greedy. Fucking C3.AI. I thought it was going to go to 20 a couple of weeks ago because it went down to like 14 real quick. I was like, oh, it recovered to like 18. I was like, I'm going to wait for it to hit 1950 so I can write some 20s or like some 19s, to like, 2026. And I got greedy. And look at what happened, it went down. And then I'm like, now I'm kind of like at my average. So I may sell some calls on a green day. It's got to recover 10, 15% for me. But we are where we are. And, it's such a great day for me to add shares. Like I went market price. I usually would do cash secure puts. I already have cash secure puts out. So now I'm praying I get put those shares, number one. And I'm also waiting for it, to recover a bit, and if I have to choke it at, $19, $18, then I'll do that. But I mean, at this point, it's just about adding shares. What do I think? Well, I thought as far as investing in C3.AI, some January 2026 puts would have been awesome. This morning, you could have sold some 15s and brought in $2, almost $2 for some 15s, essentially buying it at 13. It has not touched 13 at all in 52 weeks, but you would be able to get it at 13 if that's the case. Not a terrible deal at all. Do you want to be funky? Do you want to be funky and like get some real like a cash grab type of situation? $25 cash secure puts, C3.AI, December 2027, bringing in 1125 right now. Okay, that's well over 40%, like 45%. There's been worse trades than that. I can guarantee you. You're essentially buying it for like 13.75. You're basically, it's free money. It's cash in the bank. I went in and I did one, or two, actually two, and I got $12. So what are you gonna do? And somebody follow me with that, whatever. What are you gonna do? That's where we're at. All right. Karen is saying, good morning, everyone. Karen D. Kalua Dre saying, morning all. CKT's in the house saying, good morning. Zeta State saying, AI, ouch. Not really. Not anymore. It's down like Let's see. Now it is down 3%. Not terrible. It was down like 15, 16, 17%. Now it's 3%. I mean, it's just people that know are gobbling it up. That's all I need to know about that. AI is less than 16 a share, says Zeta State. Nope, it's 16.14 now. Affirm up to $90 today, keeping an eye out for economic reasons for your information. Affirm, yeah, I'm not looking at them at all. I'm a SoFi guy. I think SoFi is going to eat their lunch. Affirm is trading at ridiculous um, multipliers right now. It's all FOMO. Ricardo Canales saying Savage. Misty Tree Woodcraft saying ahoy. James coming in at Lucky 9. Morning Savage and all Jude K is saying SJ Tavares. SoFi is a way better company than C3 Savage. They're different companies though. You can't say SoFi is a better. It's just they do different things, dude. You can't. I mean, are they managed differently? Of course. One's a fucking bank. One's a, like a tech AI company. It's like saying NVDA and fucking Bank of America. It's just, it makes no sense. SoFi wasn't missing earnings. They were proving every time. I agree. I agree. I totally agree with you on that. Let's see here. Zeta State saying Big Bear, baby. There, right there. That's right there. That's right. I mean, the bear's out. It's been out for a while. I don't know why people were like, why do you have a bear, Savage, when it's bullish, everything's bullish? And I was like, well, I see the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. It's simple. If you look at the numbers, and you don't look at like the FUD and like the FOMO, you can look at, I mean, you'll hear it, but if you don't like really take it into heart and pay attention to it, and like basically use it to trade, and it's no big deal. Feed Gum saying Big Bear is a headache for me right now. Big Bear AI. Big Bear AI. Same thing, man. It's just, right now, tech is just taking it on the nose, and Big Bear ran up really quickly, right? I sold when Big Bear was I think $9 a share. I sold $7 covered calls out to 2027. I took a big chunk. I mean, I'm not bullshitting you guys, man. It's just let's see here. Where is my $7 covered calls? I don't know if you guys can see this. I sold $7 calls on Big Bear AI. So like, I don't know what to tell you guys, man. You can't get greedy. You can't get greedy, and that's the problem. A lot of people get greedy, and then they start thinking they're we're all-time highs, and oh my God, everything's looking great. Look at NVDA, and it's like, yeah, but if you look at the overall, and you look at how many companies are actually making money of the S&P 500, like 10% are. The rest are losing money. Like, you just got to look at these things, right? And so take into account the holistics as well, right? Like, you have to, the whole list. You got to look at like macros, right? Look at what's going on in the world. Like, just, we have wars, we have, a lot of uncertainty. You have a country like the United States that is basically, pushing away trading partners, right? And so instead of like, signing treaties, we're warning countries they better not do business with China, they better not do business with Russia. We're gonna take this and we're gonna do that, and it's just like, what? Now they're looking to get into a war with Venezuela. Like, I mean, it's just insane. But people elected this guy, and elections have consequences. That's where we are. You knew the market was gonna be uncertain. I don't understand what the problem is. Like, I don't understand why people are so shocked. This was going to happen. Everything told us this was going to happen. And NVIDIA by itself with a couple of other players, them doing business, and making a lot of money has nothing to do with the overall economy. Nothing. But people, for some reason, were resting their hopes and dreams in companies that have nothing to do with other metrics. However, it happened. And so at this point, We are where we are, baby. We are where we are. And you can either fall, tuck your tail in between your legs, hang your head and go in a corner for the next year or two, or you can take advantage of all this opportunity that's out there and see, where am I going to go in here? What entry do I want to see? Do you want to see 52-week lows? Do you want to go below that? I mean, where do you want to go? This is when you start nibbling, guys. If you've been looking at companies that, have been flying too high for you and are now starting to come down, I'm looking at bullish now. Remember, I did a cash secure put on bullish. I bought it back and I was like, I'm going to look for it to go back to the 50s. And guess what? Bullish is now 49.52. Look at that. So now I'm actually looking for that $40 cash secure put. I am looking at March 2026, $45 cash secure puts. And if I can get $10 for it, bingo, right? I'm essentially buying it at $35. So, why not? Why not? Remember, I told you guys Figma is in the radar. Figma was in the radar for me, right? It's down 16%. And it was down 20% this morning, right? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I am looking at that $50 cash secure put, and it did not trigger because I asked for for $10, and it went as high as $9.80. So we missed the train. However, I think it's coming back down. They didn't give it to me today, but guess what? It's all good. I'm going to wait for it to get down to 49 land again. Maybe 48. We'll see. I think that there's more room to the downside. Wait till these numbers come out on Friday. That's tomorrow, right? So Figma, put it on your list, guys. Just watch it. It's a great company. It's a great, great company. They went public and they were all the rage and people overpaid. I remember I told you guys this. Some people pay like $150 a share or something like that. Something ridiculous. And I said, I'm going to wait for it to get to 50, right? There it is. I'm going to wait for bullish to get to 50, I said last week. It was a 49 this morning, but now I'm looking to get $10 for that 45 cash secure put. It got there. Maybe I'll get it tomorrow. I'm not going to chase it. So that's one other thing. Don't chase a stock, okay? Have your convictions, put your foot down, say, this is what I'm willing to pay for it. This is where I stand. Pay me my fucking money or I walk away. And that's how you got to do it. And sometimes you'll get, sometimes you'll get filled, sometimes you won't. But guess what? You're going to feel like a winner when you write that first contract. And that's the key. That's the key. When you feel like a winner, that first contract is so key. When you feel like a winner, you know that the person on the other side of the trade, remember, there's two people in a trade, right? There's your side of the trade and the other person. If you sold a cash secure put, somebody else bought it, okay? They have to feel like a loser because you're feeling like a winner. That first right is key. You have to feel like a winner. I'm going to say it again. That's exactly why I don't do weeklies. I don't do bi-weeklies. I seldomly do monthlies unless I get like 10% or around there. But I like to go 2-3 months out because I like big chunks, right? I like to feel like a winner. I like to feel like the other person on the other side of the trade that just bought the contract that I sold is a fucking loser. And that's how you got to feel. And 90% of the time, I'm going to win. 90% of contracts die worthless. This is why we do options. This is why we do cash secure puts on days that are insanely red. This is why we do covered calls on days that the stock has run up. Like now, 5% is not going to be my metric anymore. It's going to be 10%. And I'm waiting to see how many on the Discord are going to adapt this and then start talking about 10%. Because then it's going to be like, I know for a fact that they're copying me, which is great. But it's just, I think it's laughable how some people take an idea and then say it's their own. Anyways, I'm looking at 10% recoveries from now on. In order for me to sell a covered call, 10%. 10% now, and for a cash secure put is going to be 10% at least. That's where I'm at when I know that I'm entering bearish markets or correction markets. 10% is what I look at, guys, because there's always a little more room to the downside than not, and I'm looking to get more protection and more money. That's how you play this game, my friends. That's how Uncle Bruce taught me, and that's how I do it. Yeah, Big Bear's a headache, but I mean, Big Bear's a lot of opportunity right now, brother. I'll tell you right now. BBAI, this moment. View all options. Let's go to January 2027. Selling a put. A $5 put for BBAI is bringing you $2.20 this moment. You could ask for 225, but I think 220 you'll get filled. That's over 40%. The stock is at 482. I don't think it'll stay there. This is a cash grab, straight cash grab. The $7 cash secure put is at 375. Okay, you could ask for 380 if you want, but 375 is not terrible. You think that it's gonna be a little more downside to this, then go with the $5 cash secure put. That's what I would do. Is I'll go to the $5 cash secure put expiring January 2027, and I would get asked for 220, 225, which is way more than 40% for your troubles. And I will rest and cross my arms on this one. All right. So I don't think it's as big as a headache as you think. I mean, it's a lot of opportunity. If you have covered calls out, you're making money, right? If you didn't get greedy, you're making money. If you went out and sold 15s to June 2026 and you got 35 cents, okay, buy it back for a penny now, if you find somebody willing to pay that. But this is why we take big chunks. This is why I take big chunks, right? And I keep telling people that, and they're like, well, but if you do weeklies, you're going to get more money overall. And it's like, if that's like in a perfect fucking utopia, like if all the metrics stay the same every week, 52 times a year, yes, you're going to make an insane amount of money. But that's not how the fucking market works. The market doesn't do what you want it to do. So what is the stock telling you then, right? You don't know what's going to happen. But the stock is telling you today, this moment, what is the stock telling me, right? The stock is telling me that SoFi is 24.60 right now. The stock's telling me that AI is 16.08. Unity, $39. RXRX is 448 right now. RXRX, you could do $5 cash secure puts out to 2026 and bring in a nice chunk of change to buy this stock for a lot cheaper than it is. Or you could do $5 cash secure puts out to 2027 and do a cash grab. All right. Rivian, what's up? And now it's down 6-7%. Okay, beautiful. Rivian is it's gonna be insane when they blow up. You go to November, sell a cash secure put, $13 cash secure put. You get $1.17 this minute. Right now, $1.17, $1.18. That's $118 in your pockets to buy Rivian at $13 in November. Nothing wrong with that at all, my friends. What is wrong with that? Like it's cheap. It's cheap stock. Now, is it gonna get cheaper? We don't know that, right? They're gonna have earnings. They just showed, the preliminary numbers that they just showed, I think yesterday, it's showing that they can't make cars fast enough. There's a backlog on orders. People are just grabbing these trucks and they love them, right? They can't build them fast enough. That's the downside. I don't see anything wrong with that. They have to open up more factories and build them. They got to start making them 24 hours a day now, and get some better machinery, get, bigger structured, what are they called? Bigger structured pieces of land where they make, their I can't think for some reason right now, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tired, but factories. Factories, some really, really big factories, bigger factories, man. They need to go to Texas. They need to go to friggin' Arizona. They need to go to Oklahoma. I mean, they need to go to all these places, Wyoming, and just build some ridiculously huge factories and then make these like 24 hours a day and just keep churning them. So SG Toyota saying, agree, but we all need some diversification. Exactly. So, I mean, I have SoFi. I have over 20,000 shares of SoFi, and I have thousands and thousands of shares of AI, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm truly diversified. I have Unity, I have RXRX, I got pharmaceuticals, I got tech, I got finance, I got AI plays, I got quantum, I have real estate. I mean, I'm pretty diversified. Let's see here. I even have some internationals. I got some ETFs. I'm pretty well hedged. Let's see. Zeta State saying Big Bear has 3 months to recover next earnings report. This is the thing. Big Bear AI has a lot of time to recover, right? But remember, guidance is a little lower now, right? Now, are they going to show lower guidance in the next one? I think we may show a little lower guidance in the next one. And then when the guidance gets lower to the point where, you know, people really start losing faith, I hate to say it, and then we have another quarter report when they're going to exceed expectations, that's when it's going to recover. So are they going to exceed expectations this next earnings report? That's the question. And what are the expectations, right? It's like, even if they lose 1 penny less per share, that's exceeding expectations, and they could make that stellar, right? So like that's up to whoever's running the company at this point, and how they're going to spin it. But Big Bear is it's a good company, man. I like it. It's they have good clients, and they're gonna keep rewriting those contracts. Let's see. Big Bear has 3 months to recover the next earnings report. Big Bear is in Panama and United Emirates. Yeah, that's a lot of money. And I don't know if people know about Panama, but it's one of those. Panama is actually part of the country's free duty, so a free duty zone. So a lot of contracts go get signed in Panama, because like as long as you're in that area, there's you can sign contracts and pay like almost no taxes on that. Dude is in the house saying, let's go. Dude saying, writing those puts. I'm bearish enough to buy a little GLD. I think that's great. 2 companies he worked, he sold his companies to CRM. I do know that. Zeta State, I know that. And Mark Benioff is not a bad person to do business with. Dude is saying the avocado. Juan Velasquez saying, good morning, everyone. What's up? Savage wrote and loaded up on AI, bull, and cashed out on my $30 SoFi calls. That's how you do it. And that is how you do it. See, Juan Velasquez knows he didn't get piggish. He didn't get greedy. He sold $30 SoFi calls. And now he brought in money. He just bought them back. And he made money. And he used that money to buy C3.AI, Webull, and it's free cash, man. It's free shares. And if he's not averaging down, he's definitely taking a nice position. What is the problem with that? And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You take what the market gives you, and you don't fall in love with a stock. Don't marry a stock. That is the biggest mistake that I made early on, was saying, oh, but these are my shares. I don't want to lose my shares. And it's like, what the fuck are you losing? It's just a company. It's not real. Like, they're not there. It's just like, it's numbers in a screen, and you're doing is just you're selling and buying and selling and buying. Like, these people couldn't care less who you are, man. Why is it that you have your hopes and dreams pinned to like one company? Like, what have they done for you? Like, what have they done for you? Like, I used companies just like they used me. Like, I put my hard-earned money into their shares because I believe in them, and like, they gotta give me my money, which is covered costs. They gotta pay rent. The companies that I have in my portfolio have to pay rent. My portfolio is a building. It's like a building, and I'm the landlord. And I have to go every month, and I gotta knock on the door and say, dude, SoFi, where you at? Pay me my money. C3.AI, where you at? Pay me my money. Unity, where you at? Pay me my money. RXRX, where are you? Rivian, where are you? Pay me some money. You need to pay the rent money to stay in my portfolio. That's just the way I see it. Dude, the Saint Savage has been right about AI when everyone else was wrong. Yeah, I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? But this is the thing. It's like it's a good company. It's a really, really good company, dude. And so nobody has to listen to me, man. I'm just some guy, right? Like in a screen, like just rambling and ranting, right? And then just telling you about his moves, and that's what I do. I'm not trying to give you financial advice, right? Like I'm not a CPA. I'm just telling you what I do and what the market is doing and what I see, and it's like based on my opinion, obviously, and I mean, you can say I'm biased, right? Because I'm trading all these companies that I talk about, and I just tell you, where I I think of it as opportunity when everybody else is afraid and is jumping out of positions and then selling off all these companies. I go where I see opportunity and I say, you know what, this is a legit company, it's a good company. It seems like they have good fundamentals. They're well ran, and so I'm going to take a position here, but I'm not going to take a position and just outright buy it. I'm gonna get paid to buy this company, and I go in through cash secure puts. And if I don't get filled, then I get more cash secure puts in there. And if I don't get filled, I'll do it again and again and again, adjusting my cost basis to get lowered. Right. Eventually, I get those shares put into my account, and then I got a very low starting price point. And then I'll wait for a day that the stock recovers and does 10-15% on the green, and then I'll sell some covered calls up a strike zone, and bring in, go out 2-3 months and bring in like, a nice amount of cash, and I'll wait for it to get taken out, or I'll roll, and then rinse and repeat, and I'll do other companies, and I stopped. I did this with SoFi because I had so much vested in it, right? And I was just like, and because I started buying in that, I think I started buying when it was IPOE at $10, 1040, 1050, something like that. And then I bought like, it started going up to like 15. I bought a 15, then I bought like an 18. And when it became SoFi, I bought some at like 23, 22. Then it went down to 20, and I was like, oh, it's 20. And I bought more, and then they went down to 15, and I was like, shit, well, I buy more and average down. And then it went to like, 12, and I was like, well, you can't go any lower. And it went lower, and then it went to like 10, and I was like, well, this is it. This is the price point that it the SPAC price point, right? And so, and it just kept going down to like 8, and then 7, and then 6, and then it just it just kept breaking my heart. But then I was so like heavily invested, I was like, I'm not gonna sell any shares. I'm just gonna wait until it goes to $25 and sell some $30 for like, out for like a couple of months and make money, and like it just didn't happen that way. And then I lost. I had some one-on-ones with Bruce, and then I had a heart-to-heart, and I was basically, when he was telling everyone else, to not write on SoFi, not write on, I was like, dude, but what if you're saying that I don't have to be afraid of the upside? Why are you telling everybody not to write on SoFi and be afraid of the upside? And he's like, well, I'm just talking to everyday investors. Like, I mean, not guys like you. He's like you and Birdie and Gabriel or Beach Boy. Um, you guys are a different beast because you guys are actually traders and investors, and you guys know more, right? And so and then and this is why I was like, oh, I'll just write some nines, I'll write some tens, and I was making a lot of money writing eights, nines, 10, making a lot of money because I had a lot of shares, and that's when I was able to see the power of of thousands and thousands of shares, even if selling for 30 cents, 40 cents, it's thousands and thousands of dollars that you bring in premium. And I was just like, holy shit. And I just dared the market. I kept daring the market, and then I got caught. Now I sold some $15 covered calls out to 2026 that are probably going to get called away on SoFi, and I'm okay with that because my average is low. It's like in the eights, and so I'm basically doubling my money. And if I get all that money in 2026 January, I'm going shopping. So that's the way that I see it, right? Like I don't see it as like me losing my shares. I'm looking at it like I'm an investor, and I'm making money. I invested and I did well because I pretty much 100% my return, and I took in a ridiculous amount of premiums many times. You go all right, so like I'm really selling like at more. Um, that's how you do this, right? And so that's why when people say, I don't want to sell covered calls too low because I'm going to wait for the stock to recover. That's just the wrong way to go about it, right? You want to have no emotional attachments um, to like the stock market and a specific stock. And once you do that, once you're able to detach yourself from having feelings into like how you trade, I can guarantee you it's like the Matrix open. Like you'll see shit like the Matrix, like Neo did the Matrix, right? Like when he realized he's the one, just another side of the brain opens up, and you're like, shit, that's what I was missing. But nobody can tell you this. This is something you have to go through. It's got to be your red pill blue pill moment, right? Like you're the one that's got to go through that door. You're the one that's going to have to like see it so that you can then it clicks. And it takes some people years and years and years and years, and some people sadly I guess never it never clicks. And then some people it clicks within a year, some people 2 years, some people months. But you gotta do it, right? You gotta do it, and then the more you do it, the more you're able to just see how things work, and then you're just like an investor um that's always there always has the wheel going, right? You always have something that's expiring. You always have something that you're gonna have to move and roll or whatnot, and it's all good. That's when you really start seeing like the fruits of your labor, so to speak. So anyhow, dude is saying savage. Yeah. So Larry saying good afternoon, all. Dude is saying Larry's in the house. Juan Velasquez saying you're right, Savage. Their earnings beat, and still they sold it off yesterday. So there I went and bought shares at 14.50, and I think that's a great buy, dude. 14.50, it's totally cool. Anything under $20 for C3.AI is a gift, man. People were like, I remember when people on the Discord and on the Uncle Bruce channel were like, I should have bought AI at 20 because it was like at $40. They were like, I should have bought more. Oh my God, I missed the train. Oh, why didn't I buy more? And it's like, this is your chance to right that wrong, my friend. If you really, really, really wanted to, buy AI at 40, at $30, at 25, it's 16.12 right now. It's there. You can go via cash secure put. Bring in a few dollars. Go out to 2026. And if you think that, it could either be a cash grab or a great starting point. Either way, if you are looking at this company, you're going to be happy. So, yeah. Tom Kaufman's in the house. Juan Velasquez saying, I also picked up 2 cash secure puts, Figma 55 all the way to January 2026. You're basically, I don't know how much you got paid for, but if you bought it under 40, if you bought it under 50, it's cool. But like 45 would have been better. However, if this is long term for you, I see nothing wrong at all. Get that cash you put, placed on your account, and then you're gonna be the happy owner of like 100 new shares of Figma. I see nothing wrong with that at all. You can always average down. Gilgo in the house saying good morning, everyone. Thoughts on GME earnings? GME is going to, I think they're going to do well. I think that it's basically starting to do what GME does during earnings, which is like it'll go up to 23. It goes up 3, 4, 5%, and then they knock it down, and it'll go up, and then they knock it down, and they go up, and they're gonna let the foot off the pedal at some point. I'm holding. I'm not. I'm letting my $23 covered calls that I sold expiring September 19th. I'm letting those 5. It's basically a canary in the coal mine, so to speak. I'm choking it too because I sold some $23 cash secure puts that I got like over $2 for. So that's where I'm at. I also sold $22 cash secure puts. And I have $30 cash secure puts out to like January and October even. So I want to see what it does. I'm very excited to see what it's doing. Those $23 covered calls. I got like 190 something for them, and they're 132 now. It's really weird because it's not falling as much as I thought it would fall. So I'm up over 30% of those. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna let them decay. I'm very excited to see what happens. To me, it's $22 cash secure puts out to like a month and a half, bringing in a couple of dollars. Nothing wrong with that at all. And so, yeah. Give me a second, guys. I have a little gremlin right here messing with me. What's wrong? Go with it. All right, I'm back, guys. Yeah, man. So, guys, it's just one of those mornings where there's so much opportunity out there, and you just have to basically, you gotta pick a side, right? You have to kind of you only have so much money too. I understand, right? And so, what do you want? Like, do you want GME? Do you want AI? C3.AI? Do you want some RXRX? Some Rivian? Do you want? What's interesting is the overall market is down, right? And there's some stocks that are up, but yet the ETFs for semiconductor and they're down, which is a divergence. I am very curious to really look into what's going on. I've been here, obviously, and not researching like I should, but anyways, I'm very curious to see as to why. Archer is down. Roblox is down. Roblox is down a lot. Sentinel-1 was down to like 4% almost. I would have been a great cash secure put today on Sentinel-1. Sentinel-1 is it's gonna be a big one. Right now it's such a buy. TerraWolf is down to 870. If you're looking to get into TerraWolf, some November 21 cash secure puts, some 8s that bring you in $1. I would ask for $1 for some 8, so you really are buying it at 7. Not terrible at all. Let's see here. Open Door got up to 11-12%, and then it's down now to 5% up on the green on the day. So Open Door, I told you guys when it was down in the 3s and 4s, I was like, those $4 cash secure puts out to September 19 would have been great. You got almost $1 for those. But minutes to trade on that too. So it'll come back down to 4, guys. Just give it some time. It's going to gyrate all over the place, right? But whenever it goes to like the $4-3 land, that's opportunity on Open Door, because it's just wait until there's a rate cut. Now, Jerome Powell may have something to say in September, right? Well, actually, in a few weeks, and tell us that there's no rate cut based on everything that he's seeing right now out of the economy. If that happens, Open Door is going down. Maybe to even $2. That's when I'm going to go in and actually buy more shares at that price point. I may do some cash secure puts just to hedge as well. And if we get down to below 2, I may buy some calls. So that's what I'm going to do as far as that. You got to have different plans, guys, because not just one thing's happen. Sometimes a lot of things happen at the same time. Sometimes the same thing that happen in the same day, you'll have a stock go down 20%, then it's up 20%. It happens. The market is crazy, man. But so we take what the stock gives us, and so that's what I'm looking at. BBAI, I said already about BBAI, $5 cash secure puts out to 2027. IOVA and prop, I'm just sitting on. I'm kind of I may average down on those. Smart rent is at 140 today. It was 150 yesterday. It was like 155 not too long ago. Listen, for those of you guys that thought about open door and missing that boat, right? Smart rent is going to make a lot of money once there's a rate cut. You're going to make a lot of money. Now, it's a real estate play. There's opportunity here right now. It's sitting at 140. It may get down to 120. Do you want to wait? We don't know. Is it going to get there? We don't know. It may. But it's at 140 now. You missed open door. Smart rent's at $1.40. That's all I'm going to say. ICCM is $1.04. Ethereum is down to 4,300. Bullish is down to 49.30. And here we go. Let's see here. I'm looking at December cash secure puts on bullish, and if I can get $9 for the $45 cash secure put out to December 19th, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. If I could get $9 for that $45 cash secure put, that would be awesome. Solana's down. Let's see here. Red Cat is down to 840. Interesting. Arcturus Therapeutics is down almost 5%. That could come down some more. Frenius Medical Care is down nothing. That can come down some more. FFAI is down 5%. FFAI can come down some more. NVTS, Nvidia Semiconductor. Yeah, they have a contract with NVIDIA. Right now, it's just people are taking profits. December 19, cash secure puts on the NVIDIAs. The $5 ones are going for 68 cents. Ask for 70. Why not? Get $70 to buy at 5. You're really buying at 430. You could do 550s and get $95. Ask for $1. So you're basically buying at 450. Not terrible at all. It depends on what you want to do, my friends. QUBT, nice. Down 1.44%. Quantum play, and you can go out to January 2026. Sell a $14 cash secure put for $280. Bring in 20% right off the bat. Nothing wrong with that at all, my friends. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see here. QQQs are up. Interesting. Rigetti Computing. It is down almost at 1% today. I think they could come down a little more. SMCI is a little green, but just barely. IonQ is green, just barely. Serve Robotics. I have some $10 cash secure puts that I received 90 cents for, and those are down. So it's a 966. My break even is 910, so I'm looking good. I hope I get those shares. I'm looking forward to getting those shares. SoundHound. SoundHound's interesting because it was just 11.39 yesterday, and today is 12.91. Good time to sell some cash secure puts would have been yesterday, not today. But I like those $12 cash secure puts. Domo is up some today on a green day, which is beautiful. It's nice to see. BTBT, Bit Digital, is green. It's red today. Figma can come down to 49, 48. Then I'll talk to it. Let's see here. Somebody in the Discord was talking about Galaxy Digital, GLXY, and it was down 6% today. Right now, it's down almost 5. Right now, January 2026, cash secure puts 250s, 380. Those are good. Those are really, really good. Um, 380 to basically buy the stock at, you're basically buying under $20. You're buying like at 19 something. That's wonderful. 18 something actually. That's wonderful. That's a great buy. So anybody looking into a GLXC, Galaxy Digital, that's it's got some juicy premiums, very nice premiums. Let's see, Clean Spark. I'm out of Clean Spark because um, Trump is shitting all over the green initiatives. The VIX is down as well. That's very interesting. Spy is up. AAOI, my baby. AAOI is barely. Today would have been a good day when it was like a $22 close to it. It's recovered some, but if you want to play in that game, keep an eye on it and look at the December 19 cash secure puts. I would advise you on the $20 cash secure puts. If it goes down to $21, do those $20 cash secure puts. Bring in $4, $4 to $5. Beautiful. Stocks at $22, $22.84. I would. You know what? You would not be crazy to write them today. You would not be a crazy person if you wrote some $20 cash secure puts on AAOI today, even today. It's at $22.84. It's got to get to 20, and you're getting $320. Nice cash grab. Nice cash grab. All right, here we go. Do the same. Got to keep some short edit from some of these moments. Great insight, Savage. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Ray Sherlock saying, I got greedy with my GME January 26 cash secure puts at 28 and 29. I got greedy with my 30s. It's not greed, man. Just wait till it pops. It's going to pop. Just have patience, Ray. It does this. GME does this. Just give it some time. Just give me the dang shares and I'll just write covered calls. I'm surprised this quarter's run up to earnings. Nothing burger so far. Just give it a moment, my man. Ray, well played. I agree. Gilgo Beach player saying trying to grab some $40 cash secure puts on ASST Space Mobile for January 2026, premium $740 per contract, lowering my sting bid to $750. Go to 8. ASTS cash secure puts execute at $750. Expiry is January. Okay, cool. $32.50. That's where you'll buy it at. Not bad. That contradiction of Uncle Bruce, the weight of the world on his shoulders. I always appreciate his advice, but I don't always take his advice. The option chain reveals all. Take the red pill. Uncle Bruce equals Morpheus, you Neo. That's awesome. That's awesome. Moneymaker Juan saying, good morning, Savage. Bought AI in the overnight last night and sold more puts this morning. Wonderful. I think that's a cash grab, brother. Good for you. What do you think of HIMS as a play, Savage? I haven't looked into it. I'm looking into it because my wife mentioned it, and I think a couple of people in the Discord. If it gets to the 30s. Juan Velasquez, I like S a whole lot of it. Me too. Me too. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I have to get ready to get the kiddo to school. So I'm going to get out of here. But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm the Savage of Wall Street, the one and only. I will be back tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Be here or be squared, right? Be there or be squared. Little T-Rex chomping at everything, right? Is the Bears out? The T-Rexes are out. Shit is crazy, man. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. The rest of the trading. Look for a lot of opportunity. It's out there. You just got to get it. You just got to get it, man. You got to take it. Don't be afraid of the downside at all. Don't be afraid of a red day. Do not be afraid of the upside. Make money. That's how we do. Anyways, I'm the Savage of Wall Street. Guys, take it easy. Have a great day. Peace.